Okay, so it's wonderful to have everybody here with us today. Thank you very much. This is your webinar on the 10 critical things to get right with Amazon ads. Please tell us your mood. If you want to comment, put in a comment about your mood. I hope you're as excited as I am about sharing this information. We've been doing Amazon ads, and I've been doing Amazon ads for many years, and it's getting more exciting in terms of some of the new things that are happening and the better ACOS we're getting for people, and the variety of ads that we're doing for people, and how some people are doing really well. I have to tell you, not everybody does well with Amazon ads. It takes patience, and it takes having a good book, of course, which what you're going to learn today are a variety of things to get right when doing Amazon ads. So if anybody has any problem hearing or seeing the slides, please let us know. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you, everybody, for turning up today. This is also available on a recording later on, so if you drop out, we will have a recording later on, and it will be emailed to everybody if you have to run away. You won't miss anything, so great to have you with us. So what you're going to learn today, 10 things. The learning curve. There is a learning curve to Amazon, and I give you ideas of what to focus on as you're going through that learning curve. About ads and campaigns and how to grow them. About budgets and bids. What is a budget and what is a bid, and when to adjust them, because it's all about adjusting things, not just starting things, but going in and adjusting them and changing them. We'll look at the whole structure of getting paid, how you get paid, when you're going to get paid by Amazon, and how you're going to make a profit on your ads. That's the goal which we want you to have, is to make a profit. If you're spending $100, we want you to be making back 120, 150, 200 or more. We want you to be making a profit. That is the goal with Amazon ads. We're going to talk about royalty rates so that you understand. You need to understand what your royalty rates are. And we're going to go into that and focus on that and break them apart, the royalty rates. We're going to look at ACOS, average cost of sales, which is a percentage. And we're going to look at that and try and understand what to target and what rate, ACOS rate, you should be getting as well. We're going to look at the whole idea of book sales and CPC. What is CPC, cost per click, and what metrics you should be focusing on. Cost per click is the idea that you're paying per click. That's the Amazon ad system. You're paying per click. You're not paying to get your ad shown to people. Your ad is, when it's shown to someone, it's called an impression, but you don't pay for impressions. You only pay when somebody clicks the ad. So CPC is cost per click. That's the actual cost you end up paying. You could have a bid, which is higher. So we could bid, for instance, 60 cents, but you might only end up paying 50 cents, depending on the auction at that particular moment, how many other people want to put an ad on, what price they put in. So the Amazon, we have to trust the Amazon algorithm that it's working out the best price, and that we're only paying a cent more than the competition. So the actual cost per click is different to our bid. So understanding these basic ideas about bids and budgets and cost per click is really important. So cost per click is what you've actually paid for each click, and how we're chasing gold, which is chasing the money, making sure that we're making a profit on whatever we're doing. And then descriptions and metadata, and it's really important that we get our descriptions right. We understand about metadata, keywords, things that we do when we put a book up. Those are the metadata, the categories, the things that are associated, the data that is associated with your book is the metadata, and the keywords in your description can help with that as well. So descriptions are important, and we're going to be covering that as well. And covers, book covers, which are hugely important. Don't for a second believe that thing, book, nobody judges a book by a cover. Absolutely. Now we've reached the stage where if you could have written the best book ever on your particular genre, but if it hasn't got a good, appropriate cover, people just won't buy it, which is sad, I know, indictment, but that's the age we're in. We're very visual. We want to see things. So getting your covers right, research, and we'll go into details on that. And the long tail of reader reviews. This is the new normal, which is It's not about trying to get all the sales on day one. That was an industry standard which referred to books which were being launched in bookshops, bookstores, wherever you are, which have been launched in bookstores and which really had a shelf life in that store of possibly 6 or 8 weeks. That meant that the publishing company would ship in 100 copies or 50 copies or 200 copies. And if they didn't sell in 6 or 8 weeks, they'd be returned. It has similar shelf life to some dry goods and some other items. So the publishers really pushed for early sales. They wanted to get reviews in quick and sales up at the beginning. So those 100, 200 copies in the bookstores, whatever they'd ordered, would go. And then at the end of the cycle, that 6-week period, the person ordering books would order more. So that was crucial. And that's why the focus in the old days was on your launch date. Now it's about the long tail. And we know books that after 6 months or a year or 2 years start selling a lot more than they did at the beginning. And this is because of the cumulative effect of reviews on Amazon. So you could have a book which came out 3 years ago, which has finally hit 200 reviews, which has got some amazing 5-star reviews at the top of the review section, and which suddenly starts selling more because you start doing advertising for it as well. So don't get caught up in thinking that I have to, if you're launching a book, that it has to do really well at the beginning. That refers mainly to traditional publishers who are caught up in the bookstore model. So those are the 10 things, the 10 critical things, and I'm going to go into detail on each one. I hope everybody here is okay. Thank you, everybody who's been joining us recently. Okay, so who am I? Lawrence O'Brien. I'm a published author. I was published by HarperCollins coming up to 10 years ago. I had 3 thrillers published around the world. They did quite well in the States, they did well in Australia, did well in the UK, and I was then translated into 10 languages. And that was great. I had a couple of options taken. One of them is still live for a movie. And you never know when that might come out. But I was a typical mid-list author, which are the authors who get eaten up. You may have experienced this, who get brought in, see what they can sell, did pretty good, but then they want more new people. So I moved on to indie publishing. Now I put on more books into that original series. I've now published a Roman novel series, which my editor at HarperCollins was definitely not interested in, and of another series. So I'm a published author. I've been in marketing for over 30 years. I've made my living in marketing, did a degree in marketing, and went into IT sales and was a sales director for a software company. So my career has always been based on actually selling things, getting sales, not just talking about it. Actually, what's the number? How many sales did we get last quarter? How many sales did we get last year? So I founded BooksGoSocial to help other authors with marketing and sales and selling, simply selling books, getting a result, selling books. And that's what we've been doing with our Amazon ads. I founded the International Dublin Writers Festival in 2015 because I went to writers festivals, writers events, conferences in the United States, and I had the best time of my life. And I thought we should have a writers conference in Dublin, which amazingly we didn't have. So we're still the only writers conference in Dublin, though it had to be online last year. I manage a team of Amazon ad experts every day, 7 days a week, 365. How can we do that? Because we've got people in India who don't celebrate over the Christmas period, so they're happy to work through. They have different festivals, so we can do 365 days of the year managing. So we have a team, multiple people managing the ads, and the pressure is on us to get a return. People give us some budget, or we manage their budget, and the pressure is on to, because people will ask for their money back and be very unhappy. So we need to get results. And what you're going to see is how we do that, the various tactics. So that's me. Okay, the first item then, the learning curve. Be prepared for a long curve. The first time I looked at the Amazon Ads dashboard, it was completely Greek to me, or Chinese. It just seemed It just seemed, and I've been in marketing for, as I say, for decades, but it seemed difficult to understand. All the different parts of the screen just seemed difficult. So it takes months if you go in every day and years to really know what's going on. Research, always be researching. And we recommend researching the keywords in particular for your book and base it on the typical buyer and imagine their search terms. So we went through this thing about what are the keywords for children's books? For instance, if you've got a middle grade book or if you've got a book for young children, a lot of children, they don't buy books for themselves. So you've got to think, who is the buyer for the book for children in particular? This is an obvious example because the buyer is the aunts, the uncles, friends, and family of those children. So they're looking for, and what are the obvious things if you're looking for a book for an 8 to 10-year-old? You put in books for boys 8 to 10. And what we have found is that those obvious keywords are the most likely ones to generate sales. So if you think about what are people who are going to be searching for your type of book, what are the keywords that they're putting in that you should put in? We are not an advocator of 500 or 1,000 keywords. Why? Because we've done them. We've done KDP Rocket ads with 500 keywords and Helium-10 ads with 300 keywords and Merchant Word ads with 400 keywords. We've tried all of those, and what we found is that the keywords, it's like the Pareto principle, the keywords that really work are a small number. So we focus on golden keywords, the most likely keywords. It takes a bit of research and it takes a bit of thinking out of the box, what are people who are looking for your book are going to be searching for, and not relying on a list of 200 or 300 maybe from some other book or from some generalized engine which creates search terms. And one of the problems for us, of course, and you can test those other keyword tools if you want. The problem for us was that some of those keyword tools produce a list of keywords which are irrelevant, and then we have people clicking them and our customers' money gets wasted, and they're going to get annoyed with us for wasting their money and putting in keywords which weren't 100% relevant. So that's why we've gone on this process of golden keywords, which I'll tell you a little bit about at the end, but you've got the basic idea, which is the most likely keywords to work. So if anybody's got a problem listening or anything, please let me know. Okay, so research your keywords. Think about, if somebody's looking for a book like mine, what do they put in Amazon, okay? So yes, we advocate taking multiple training courses. There are different tactics. I know there's people who advocate starting really low bids, which is 20 cents, 15 cents, 10 cents. That's a low bid. So there's a whole group of people who advocate, yes, let's start low bid and see if we can catch the low end bids, the end of the day bids, see if we can get our book shown, because we may not be able to make a profit if we start bidding medium or high. So I'm going to show you what medium bids are. Usually 50, 60, 40 cents, those will be medium bids. The reason we usually start with medium bids when we're managing ads is because people like to see something happening. The problem is if we start with 5, 10, and 20 cents bids, it can usually take like 8 weeks and nothing happens. So people usually get a bit concerned if like we put in these really low bids and they're not selling, so they want to see some results. That's why we start medium, because it's more likely that your ad will start. The Amazon algorithm, the A9 algorithm will pick up your ad because it's got a medium bid and show it more often than those which start really low. So that's another total strategy, which another group of people have, which is the low bids. And then there are other people who are happy with very high bids. And I'm going to show you an example of a high bid strategy later on. But do take multiple training courses, because each of them will, help you pile on the information and understand more about Amazon ads. Really important. Monitor daily, and that could be only a minute, depending, or it could be 2 minutes. We can do it really fast now. We can go in, check someone's ads, What we're looking for typically is overspend, because there's nothing worse than you go in and you find you've spent $20 and you haven't had a sale. That's when, you've got to stop it. You've got to turn it around. Okay. So that's why we go in daily. We monitor our ads actually multiple times daily to make sure it's not overspending with no results. We also want to find, if you've spent $20 and you've got $40 worth of sale, we want to make sure that the keywords that are working. So some of you find even within those ads, some of those keywords are working. If it's an auto ad, it might be the close keyword, or it might be the comparable keyword, similar books. So it depends. We can adjust those, and it depends for each book which ones are doing well. Once we find something that's working and it's getting a low ACOS, we'll adjust the bids up. So monitor daily, look for overspend, and look for successful keywords and keyword types, match types that are likely to bring you on more money, and make small adjustments. We're saying go down 10 cents or go up 10 cents, but monitor daily. Don't come back and say, I left it for 15 days and it spent $20 a day and I just spent $300 and I haven't got any money. Because please don't come back to us and say that. You go in, you monitor the next day, you see if it spent $20, you adjust the bids down, you make sure that it goes down to 15 or 10 or 5 the next day. If it's still not selling, you've got to ask yourself, is there something about the book we've spent all this money sending people to it? So I'm going to just look at the screen. I'm going to show you this is the type of information you get on the dashboard. You're going to get a table under that, and there's a menu on the left, and there's some menus on the top. But this is the middle part of the data you see on the Amazon Ads dashboard. And what I've done is I've highlighted some key figures here. So just so that you're comfortable with some of the figures and what they mean. So the first one on the top is impressions. So impressions, 110,000 and whatever. Impressions means the number of times your ad was shown to people, appeared on the screen. So that means the ads are typically the ones we're talking about, and we do mostly are sponsored product ads, the most successful ones for us, sponsored product ads. And they appear either on a strip of books in the middle of other books. So an Amazon book page, the cover is at the top, and then you scroll down, you see the strip of books, sponsored products, or other books, Amazon can call it as well, other books related to this book. And then you scroll down further and you see the reader reviews. So it's right in the middle of someone else's book page. That's the typical placement of an ad. You can also be placed on the search results page. So if you search for books for 8 to 10-year-old boys, you'll see a list of books, one after the other, and your sponsored product ad can appear at the top or in the middle of that list. So an impression is the number of times that your ad of those types is shown to people. And most people just scroll past them. What we're looking for is about 1 click per 1,000 impressions. Okay, that's all, that's the average. That's what we're expecting, about 1 click per 1,000. You say, well, that's very small. Yes, it's true, but that's on average. If you're getting 1 click per 1,000, that's good. In this case, it got 334 clicks for 110,000. So this is way above average. This book is doing well, and that means that the cover, there was something nice about the cover and the title and the subtitle and the price. Those are the main things that people see. I know you can put in some extra text, but we find it doesn't make any difference. It's the cover, the title, the subtitle, the price, and the number of reviews. If it says 334 5-star, mostly 5-star reviews, and it's got a good price and a nice cover, people are more likely to click it than if it says 2 reviews and the cover isn't very attractive. So it's really down to how you present your book. So impressions, you know what that is now, the number of times your ad has been seen. The spend is obvious, how much has spent in the period. And if you look down at the bottom right, you'll see that the date range has been set to lifetime. So this is the lifetime of these ads, which is whenever the ads were started. It could be a month, 2 months, whatever this set of ads you're looking at started. That's the spend. The click-through rate, that's the same as the clicks. It's the percentage basis of the clicks as against impressions. Sales is obvious now. You got to keep in mind, though, that sales is the retail sales price. It's not the royalties, okay? So if these are all ebooks, you're typically making 70% on ebooks. If you get the price right, we're going to talk about this later. So don't be fooled by thinking that sales is the amount of money you're getting. We're going to go into more detail on that later. Orders helps you determine whether it's a print or ebook. So the 50 orders, okay, for $795, whoever's good at maths can work that out. That it's 50 orders at $10. This is 50 orders at more than $10 each. This is a lot of print book sales, okay? These are not ebook sales at $4.99, because 50 orders at $4.99 would be a lot different. So that orders number can help you work out how many print books you sold and how many ebooks you sold. The advertising cost of sales is not highlighted there, but this is a good 27% ACOS. Typically, if books are under 70%, if the ads are under 70% ACOS, that means you are making money. Hello to everybody. I hope you're okay there. Also, just to let you know, you can go into our Facebook group. I'm going to email you about this tomorrow, and you can ask questions and you can place your own book to tell everybody else who's here about your own books. I want people to know there's a way for you to tell people about the book and that you've been on this course, and that'll be emailed to you tomorrow. So the ACOS in this case, this is for one of our clients, 27% is doing good. And some people like the return on ad spend, which is effectively means that it's the spend in comparison to the sales. It's the same percentage base. So that's just to give you a look at the screen and make sure you're familiar with some of the main numbers. Okay, so this is point 2, how to grow ads and campaigns, how to grow them. So ads are called campaigns. Each individual ad, Amazon has its term called a campaign. You want to start a campaign. This is what Amazon calls them. And you can start with 5 or 6, which is multiple different types. 2 auto ads, laser targeting ads, where you're targeting titles of other books. And then you can target some what we call golden keywords, which is the most obvious ad types. And then you can create ads which have up and down bidding or down only. So you can have auto ads with up and down and auto ads with down only. So that would be your 5 or 6 ads. And some people go on then to make 1 or 2 a week. So it can take about 10 minutes to create another 2 ads and monitor your ads. And I know somebody who we helped get started and now has over 700 ads, and they had 3 books last year. I think they may have another one coming out, but they keep making new ads. And why would they do that? Because your ads are not competing with themselves, okay? There is perhaps 250,000 other people doing ads. So what you're competing with is all those other ads. You're not competing with yourself, okay? There's just too many times that other ads are going to take your place. What you're doing is giving yourself more places in the line. If you can imagine, there's this line of ads waiting to be served. So Amazon's got these like 50,000 romance ads all waiting to be served, and the algorithm has to pick which ones are most appropriate. So out of those 50,000 ads, if you've got 200 places, okay, you're more likely to be picked. And the ads, of course, which are even more likely to be picked are the ones that work. So please keep that in mind. Amazon likes serving ads that work. So if your ads die, if you think, why are my ads dying? Which is they stop showing to people. It could be that the algorithm, when they were shown to people, people didn't buy it very much or bought it very little. So Amazon decides, oh, there's more likely books. If we put these ads, they're more likely to get sales. So you can try new ads, or again, you can go back to look at your book. Is the cover right? Does it have enough reviews? Are the basics right? If I'm paying for people to go to that page, are the basics right? So if your ads stopped working, that could be a key reason that when they were shown, when the algorithm showed them to a lot of people, nobody bought it or very few bought it, and the algorithm automatically decides to stop showing your ad. So that's why we create one or two more, because some ads died for other reasons, and we don't quite know why. Amazon refuses to share exactly the reason why. Sometimes a good ad stops working, and we just have to put up with it. That's the life we live in their world. Some will start showing before others due to your genre. So we have some Amazon ads we do for people, and within 2 days, they're showing and making a profit, which is really amazing, and we love it. And we look at the genre and see the very tight genre, like non-fiction. It's a book for high school music students, okay? And it's one of only 3 in that genre. So, and because of that, Amazon just starts showing it to people. And then we look at another book and it's a romance, and there are, I don't know, 1 million romance titles and probably 100,000 ads people are doing for romance. And it's just really hard even to get seen. So it can take, now this is from Amazon. I've heard an Amazon senior executive saying it can take 4 to 6 weeks for an ad to even get impressions. It can take 4 to 6 weeks. So don't go crazy. If you made 5 ads, okay, and 3 weeks have gone by, don't be tempted to suddenly change your medium bid, you put it in 50 cents, to suddenly change it to $1. Because your chance, first of all, if it does get starts to be seen and they charge you 80 cents per click, you're going to find it really difficult, particularly at the early stages, to make any profit, and you're probably going to abandon it in week 5. So be patient with your ads, okay? Be patient and know that it takes time to get ads seen. So, and this is based on your genre, based on the competition at the time, how many other people are looking to place an ad. And of course, it depends on your bids. But it's not just bid based. If you bid $2 a click, Amazon might still decide not to place your ad, not to put your ad, because they don't think it'll ever sell. They want to put books that are most likely to sell. Though I have to warn you, if you do put $2 a bid on, there is a good chance that Amazon will take it. So it doesn't always take it. It doesn't always base it on price, but it can take it. So please, and that's one of the big mistakes, is putting in a $2 bid instead of something else. And 2 days, it doesn't spend your money. And then the third day, it takes all your money in, takes your $10 daily budget in 5 clicks, and you don't get any sales. So be careful of making sure your bids are in cents, okay? Unless, and I'll give you examples later on of where we can bid higher than $1. So monitor daily, okay, if even for 2 minutes, look at the screen. We got another screen for you, okay? So this is inside an ad. And you'll see when you click on one of the ads, this is the data screen you typically get taken to. And you will see the menu options on the left. Ad groups. We now have ad groups, which is in a campaign, you can set up an ad group, which is for the first book in this series, another ad group for the second book in this series, and another ad group for the third, and so on. So you can have different ad groups. You can also set up ad groups for the print edition and the ebook edition. And underneath that, you have what I've highlighted here is the campaign settings, which is important, which is where you can change the name of your ad, and you can see the bidding type, whether it's up, down, or down only. And you can also, underneath that, a lot of people are not using this yet, but you can see the history of changes. And that's useful to know, when did you change your bids? So I'm advocating changing your bids. You can go back in and click the history section here and see when you are changing your bids, okay? So those are the important things there. You can also see here the click-through rate, 0.2 in this case. You can see the impressions, 134,000. The cost per click that was actually paid the amount of money spent, the click-through rate, and the ACOS. It's a good, solid 16% ACOS. You can see this is over the lifetime. Looking down the bottom, this is the lifetime of this particular ad. You can also customize the columns that you see underneath there. There's a table underneath there, and you can customize the columns. You might want to play around with that. And you can hide the chart as well. And sometimes if you go into the data screen for an ad and you see no chart like this, click that. It'll say show chart if there's no chart shown. So also be aware that orange button in the bottom left, you can create a new ad group. So you may have set it up with only one or two ad groups, and then you may have introduced the third book in the series. You want to create a new ad group for the third book in this series. You can also make adjustments as well. You can see that just under that there is an adjustment. You can make adjustments when you go into the targeting, for instance. You can make adjustments to all of the bids that way. So that's looking a bit more at the screen, trying to get a good understanding of what you're seeing on the screen and what is a good ad. Hope everybody's still with me. Okay, so we're moving on to section 3, budgets and bids. So typically you have a budget per campaign, okay? So in that campaign, you can have a couple of different ad groups. So you can set the daily budget, and we suggest $10, but you can make it $5 if you want. And particularly at the beginning, people want to say, I don't want to set a high budget. But remember, what will usually happen is that none of that budget, or very little, will be spent in the first week or two. But this does depend on your genre. So you can set it at $5 daily budget. That is the maximum amount you're willing to give Amazon to spend on ads in that campaign. Okay, so that daily budget is really important. Understanding the concept that that is the maximum. Even if you set your bid wrong at $5 instead of 50 cents, if you've set your budget, daily budget at only $5, it will only do one click. Excuse me. So $5 a day, and it's often not spent. Naming conventions are really important. And that is when you create an ad, you get asked at the top to put in a name. And we suggest, I'm going to show you this on the next slide, we suggest putting it in so that you're putting in a specific name for the book. Don't follow the convention that Amazon has, which is just the day and time. Put it in for the first book or the second book. Put in the title or some mnemonic for the title so that you can know, yes, this was an ad for my first fantasy book, Fantasy Book 1. Okay, so Fantasy Book 1, and you could have based it on a keyword list that you extracted from somewhere, so you can base it on that keyword list. And you can say the bid type. So the bid type could be that down only, which is the typical one, up and down. There is another option, which is a fixed bid. Don't recommend trying that. We found that they don't work as well, but you're welcome to test it if you want. We found that in some cases, down only works very well. In some cases, up and down works well. And it also depends on so many other factors related to the book, but you can test down only and up and down. So the bid could be DO, bid DO, down only. So that's about naming conventions, about how to set your names. This will help you identify, as I say, and when you come later, you don't want to spend a lot of time monitoring, presumably very busy lives. You just want to go in, look at the list of ads and say, oh, there's the down only, that's doing well, okay, or the up and down is doing better, okay, and you know immediately, within like 30 seconds, you know, okay, those ads are doing well, that's not doing well. You don't have to go into the ad and check, is that the down only, is it the up and down, okay? So that's why I recommend you get your naming conventions right. And here we go. You're going to see, this is when you create a campaign. So you click the create a campaign button. And the first thing you put in is the campaign name. And Amazon is just suggesting a date and time here. So please put it in as the name of the book and the type of bidding And underneath, you can put in daily budgets. So this is where you'd put in your 5. So please don't put in 500, or unless you, and have really high bid as well, because it might spend more money if you do both of those. We have tried, some people have said, yeah, if you put in $1 million daily budget that Amazon will look to spend it. It doesn't, okay? If you put in $1 million daily budget and a medium and low bid, Amazon will still not spend the money, okay? If you put a $1 million daily budget and a $5 per click bid, it might. So just be careful. Your daily budget goes in there, and we're suggesting you start with $5 or $10. So the targeting, this is where you select either automatic or manual. The manual is where you put in your short list of other similar books by title, okay, or the ASINs, which is the identification number. So those are two different types. We call them laser targeting ads. And you can just, an easy ad to start with is just leave it on automatic. And create it automatic. And what does that mean? Amazon selects the places that it's going to place your ad. Do we trust Amazon to do that? Well, Amazon auto ads work pretty good, okay? So yes, create some auto ads, okay? Create some, and you see the bidding type, dynamic bids up and down. So that radio button is clicked. This ad, if you created it, would be an up and down. Or if you clicked the above button, it'll be a dynamic down only ad. So that's the basic options. You can see up on the top right. You can save it as a draft if you want, come back later. And that's the launch button. It's also down below further where you put in some other details, the book you're targeting, etc. But that's the basics of where you make this change about getting your naming convention, bidding, and budgets right. So number 4, getting paid. Focus on long-term profit. That's what we all want to focus on, not just making money today. We want to make sure that we have a long-term profitable process with our Amazon ads. First of all, only spend what you can afford, which I know should be obvious. But please, yes, remember, it can take up to 90 days to get paid. So if you're doing ads, you get paid not at the end of the of that month. You get paid at the end of the following month. So it's not immediate payment from your ads. You've got to be careful. It can take up to 90 days to get paid by Amazon for the sales and KENP page reads accumulated as a result of your ads. So that's how long it can take. And the KENP page reads are those which are accumulated if you're in Kindle Select. And Kindle Select, we recommend people go into Kindle Select, which is the system of being in exclusive for your ebook only with Amazon. And we used to be against it, but we saw the amount of royalties that people were getting from being in it, and the multiple attempts of people to go wide to get paid by Kobo and other services, and the difficulties people were having, and the easy way people were getting paid by being in Select. So yes, if you have a good system outside of Amazon, that is, you've got a way of promoting your books on Kobo, and you've got a way of promoting your books on Apple iTunes, or you have a good, definite way of making money for them, yes, you can do that, but recommend for other people that you go into Kindle Select. It means that there are now over 140 million people on Amazon Prime in the United States, and that they can get to read your book for free, but you will get paid. And I'm going to go into some more details on that on another slide, how much you get paid when you're in Select. So it can also take between a few days and a week to see sales generated from the previous period in your ads dashboard. One of the reasons for this is that print books are often not counted until they are delivered. So if somebody orders 3 print books and um, it's not showing up as a sale, that can mean that the print books haven't been delivered yet. In some cases, the delivery will be the next day, but it could be that they are waiting for to be printed, or there could be other reasons. And it can be that it could take a week if they're delivered to some far-flung place and they haven't arrived yet. So be careful that your sales figures, particularly for print, can be affected by delays in sending your book out. And this can happen particularly if you put your book through Ingham Spark. And Ingham Spark place the book on Amazon, and there's often a delay with Ingham Spark in shipping it in, or Amazon says there's a delay. So be aware there can be some anomalies with print books. And that's why we look at figures, your last 7 days, your last 30 days, your sales to date. So we look at all of those figures to try and get an overall picture. Please keep in mind, this is not a quick fix system. You have to be patient to get paid. You have to build up your ads and try and get them to work well over time. So it's a building up system, not a quick fix. People who expect to suddenly go into Amazon and make lots of money, but it is a definite way to get seen and to make sales. And as shown by some of the previous slides, a definite way to make a profit on your ads, to spend $100 and get 200 or 300 back. It's a definite way to do that, but it will take some time to get it right. So here we are, the wonderful royalty slide. Really, we have to understand our royalties to know what we're getting paid. So 70 or 35% is published. So the 70% applies to any ebook between $2.99 and $9.99. Please don't price your ebook higher than that. If your ebook is $99 to $2.99, then it's on 35%. And some people, I have a book at 99 cents. So a book at 99 cents is going to get 35%, which is 34 cents. That's all I get for each book sale. But because it's a series, I expect people to read the second and third book, which are at higher prices, $4.99. So my total royalties from the series are much higher. And that's the thing to keep in mind. So those are the rates. We see some people saying I should price my book higher because it took me years to write it. We're not looking for a high individual sale value. What we're looking for is a high total royalties paid to you at the end of the month. We're looking for that total high royalties paid to you. So we want to make sure that each month after you get started, and once you're over the waiting period, that every month you get paid the highest the possible royalties. This is a big innovation, of course, that Amazon have over traditional publishers. I get paid every 6 months by HarperCollins, which is a bit old-fashioned, and Amazon pays every month, which is great. Know the latest KENP Kindle edition normalized page rates. And the KENP page rate, it's when you're in KDP Select, and you can set that at any time, but please make sure you take your ebook out of other services, selling it on other services when you do, because Amazon will send you a nasty email if you don't, saying please remove it from other services or we'll stop selling it, something like that. It's relatively easy to take it off other services, but please make sure you do, or do within a few days of clicking it on that you want to go into Select. Each period in Select is 90 days, so you can change it after 90 days. Again, that gives it access to the 140 million Prime customers who have free access to Prime Reading. So the latest KNP page rate has been holding steady at around 0.0046. That's all of $1. That is almost half a cent per page. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but that means that currently for 500 pages, okay, KNP pages, the author gets $2.30. Now, KNP pages are smaller than a normal page, okay? So if your book had 350 pages, okay, if your book had 350 pages, it's the same as, approximately the same as 500 KNP pages. So the rate, therefore, you're getting is a little bit below what you would get from a $4.99 book at 70%. Okay, it's about 2/3 of what you would get if you sold the ebook, and you're getting this payment from Amazon where the customer is paying nothing, and you get 2/3 of what you would have earned. It's best to try it. I'm getting about 50% of my royalties from being this way, and I don't think it would be much higher if I went out of Select. And I see so many authors making really good money from being in Select. That's why we recommend it. So, and it's not that low. It's about 2/3 of the rate you would have get paid if you weren't in Select. So please consider that being in Select. Why am I talking about this for Amazon ads? Because we believe that Amazon is likely to show books that are in Select more often to advertise to readers when they are looking for books, because it supports particularly Prime readers. It supports the service that Amazon providing by people paying that Prime fee. They pay a monthly fee to Prime. So if they're shown a lot of free books, which they're in Prime reading, they're more likely to be happy with the service they're getting from Amazon. So we certainly believe that you're going to get more impressions. You're going to do better if you're in KDP Select. I know some people are totally against Amazon for whatever reasons you decide, but we currently live in their world, and it's not likely to change in the immediate future. And my goal and what I get judged on, and our company gets judged on, is just sales. That's it. You know, just how many sales did you make? That's it. You know, don't talk to me about whether somebody is a great company or not. It's not my business. My business is just to get book sales, and that's what this session is about. So that's KNP page reads. ACOS is the advertising cost of sales, and what to target. Typically below 70% could be in profit. If you are on a 70% royalty system, that means if your ebook is between those numbers. If you have a series of books which sell because a reader liked the first book they bought because of advertising, an ACOS of 200% can be justified. So how is that? Because on our first book, we might only make 35 cents, but the second book is $4.99. So I'm making 70% of that, which is $3.50, or a little bit less than that, say $3.40 on the second book, and I make $3.40 in the third book, because the majority of people are going to read 3 books. So therefore, one sale of 99 cents looks like a loss if I paid, say if I paid $2 for that, a 99-cent sale, but actually my royalties over 3 months are going to be, what do we say, $3.40, needs $6.80, another 20, say $7. So that's a real profit. That's how series writers are coming to dominate Amazon, because they have 3, 4, or 5 books, and they can therefore make a real loss, 200% ACOS, 300% ACOS on their Amazon ads dashboard. It looks like they're spending $300 and making $100 in sales, when in fact they know over the course, and they're not recorded, they know over the course of the next 3 months they're actually going to get $700-800 back, because most people, and they know the number of people, that's called the read-through. If half your readers, for instance, read the remainder of a series of 5 books, and you're in Select, you can be making good money and having a 200% ACOS. Each sale will therefore result, you can see that you can work out your numbers for yourself. 100 sales, 199-cent sales can actually end up being 300 sales. Your royalties in this case will also depend on the price, so that you've got to work out your 70% royalty rate is on, you've got one book at $3.99, one at $4.99, one at $99. But that's how series authors are doing really well and dominating the tops of the charts in fantasy, science fiction, thrillers. They dominate the top of the charts because they can spend more, they can lose money on their Amazon ads, but still, over the period of 3 months, make a really good profit. And of course, if your ACOS is even lower than 70%, if your books are in real demand, then you can do really well. Okay, book sales, cost per click, I explained that. Sales and borrows, slow to report. A good second metric to focus on is your cost per click. So a low cost per click, 25 cents, means it cost you 25 cents each time someone clicked your ad and got taken to the Amazon book page. On average, 1 in 10, so that will buy your book, 1 in 10 who click and buy a book and taken to it could cost you $2.50 if you are paying a 25 cents cost per click. It could cost you $2.50 to sell a book because it took 10 clicks to get a sale. Now, we have some people who are doing better than 10 clicks, but if you're getting 10 clicks, okay, so that the other metric was 1 in 1,000 impressions to clicks. So now we're at the clicks to sales. So one sale per 10 means that 25 cents is cost you $2.50. If your book is $2.99, you're only making 70% of that, which is $2 approximately, and you're spending $2.50. That's a loss. It's a definite loss on that sale, and it'll come up on your dashboard as a loss. But if you've got 3 books in the series, even 2, it could actually be a profit. And if you're getting more money, more royalties from being in select, you can turn, this is where we want to turn a loss into a profit. And it's quite an achievement to make a profit. It's to turn it around from a loss-making situation into a profit. And that's our goal constantly. If you do not have a series of books, you could easily be making a loss. Watch your bids if you only have 1 book. But we know people who are doing really well with 1 book. In fact, we manage them. So here we go with the 1 book. And look at the cost per click. This is most of the revenues from 1 book, and it's not a series of books. And so you have high, we've over $1. If you look in the CPC, the middle column, over $1 cost per click. And if you look at the ACOS column for that, which is on the right of that top one, you'll see the ACOS is 23%, okay? And see the spend to the left of the cost per click, it's 109. I know it's not very clear here. Hopefully you can see this. The spend is 109 and sales are 452. So this is a real live example of someone who's paying a high cost per click and spending $100, okay? This is year to date this year, $100 spent, $400 on 1 ad, okay, with an ACOS of 23%. This book is not in a series, okay, but it's in a very specialized genre. So this means there isn't that much competition. Plus, it's very well presented. It's the kind of book that you would just look at it and say, I want to buy it. It's got lots of reviews, great description, really good title, subtitle, etc., in a very tight subgenre. So you can do well. What I've spoken about series is not the rule for everybody. People can do well, and what I've spoken about with bids is not the rule for everybody. How did we get to $1 a click? We got to $1 a click by the ad starting to work. So the ad starts to work and we're getting a low ACOS. We want it to be seen more. So we start raising the bid, okay? So the bid Initially could have been 60 cents. I think we were starting late last year at a higher bid. We're now down lower. So bid starting 60 cents, and we see it does well. It starts selling quickly, and it's got a low ACOS. It's got an ACOS of 35%. So we raised the 60 to 70. It's still got a low ACOS. Start selling more. Raise the bid again. We want it to be seen more. We want it to sell more. Okay, so that's how we get to $1 and a 25%, 23% ACOS. So that's an example of an ad doing well. So we're going to move on quickly. Descriptions and metadata. Ensure your book description is the best it can be. We have a service helping people with book descriptions, making sure you get it right. And more of this will be covered in, we have other training courses I'm going to tell you a little bit about, but more will be covered on that. And there are a lot of people available to look at descriptions. No point in paying to get people to look at book if the description will not help you sell it. So please look at the key information there is look at other top selling books in your genre. Is your description like theirs? Is it one paragraph? No, it's not going to work. Is it short paragraphs, easy to read? Yes. Invest time. We provide an editing service for book descriptions as part of our Amazon Ad Support program. If you need further help, look at the layout, multiple paragraphs, bullet points, if it's a non-fiction book, and see how the big publishers do this, and really look at it and see what words are they using? How are they hooking people in the first sentence? Okay, I see most people are still here. That's great. Thank you for sticking with us. And as I said, you can go into our Facebook group. I'm going to send you an invitation to the group tomorrow and talk about this and ask any questions as well that you want or anything you've missed out on. So we're going to head now for number 9. I'm going to ask people at the end as well if they want to raise their hand, and then I'll unmute them and make sure you want to ask a question now. So covers. Ensure your cover looks amazing. I know that sounds easier said than done, but please, homemade covers are really no longer appropriate. And it's not about using Books Go Social, not looking for business with this. Go to a cover designer. Covers designed by family members rarely work. We even see a lot of small publishers' covers, and they don't look great. Go to a proper professional cover. You want a book that looks like a book at the top of your genre, the one that you go into a bookstore and you see it on the front table, not right down the back. Go for a commercial cover. Of course, our focus again is selling books because we get judged on that. So that's what our advice is. If you want to sell books, have a commercial cover. Look at books at covers at the top of your genre, rate yours, get a cover designer, please not a graphic designer. It's a completely different skill. Cover designers focus on how to sell books, the type of fonts that work, the type of colors that work in selling books, the type of setups. Is the person on the cover dynamic? Are they just sitting there? Are they doing something? There's various ways that a thriller cover, a romance cover, a literary cover are different, and they should look amazing. Covers really need to look amazing. There are many new online cover design services in the last few years, and you can search on Google to find them. The long tail of reader reviews. So this is the new normal, which I spoke about at the beginning. Please get as many reviews as you can. Ensure you have at least 3 honest, not 1-line reader reviews on Amazon before you start. Very rarely will a book sell with at least a few reviews, probably 10 or 100. Our best-selling book last year had 1,000 reader reviews. So running ads for that, they just sold the books. Every time you ran an ad, the Amazon showed them to people, and it sold, and it consistently in the top 1,000 on Amazon, and it just had so many overwhelming number of reviews. So if you want to sell, just focus, but you can build. That took years for that book to reach that position. So do not be disheartened that, okay, my book's been out 6 months and I've only got a few reviews. You can, by working the system, and there's various systems of getting reviews, honest reviews, you can grow over time. That book is a memoir, by the way, astonishing book. Um, don't ask your family for reviews, as their reviews can be removed by Amazon because, of course, family members are considered biased. You can wait until reviews arrive organically. They usually arrive one for every 1,000 people who read your book. Sometimes it can be lower, particularly the opening period. And we offer a number of services. We have free, totally free reader review gathering with 2 groups on Facebook, which can get you free reviews. They're based on a round robin system where you review somebody else's book that you like, and then you put your book up for other people's reviews. And it's totally free, and there's been thousands of reader reviews, but it does require you to read another book. So that's completely free from Books Go Social. What else we got? If you want to get your ads done for you, that you don't have to do all of this, you can go to BooksGoSocial.com and use the coupon code BGS40 at the checkout to get a $40 discount. The Turbo tune-up is where we tune up your own Amazon for a month, your own ads. We set up some new ones and bring your ACOS down and tune up, like bringing your car in for a tune-up. So we tune up your ads and you can get a $40 discount. Write that code down, BGS40, to get your ads done for you. And we have a service where we'll do them on our dashboard, and we're doing new retargeting ads, which are really exciting. You can also get 4 more hours. Imagine 4 more hours. 4 more hours of training, going in depth into each of the different Amazon ad types, some of the things I've covered. And that's at tinyurl.com/AMS Turbo. Again, the coupon code is BGS40 on the payment page for each site. That's a separate site. tinyurl.com/AMS Turbo takes you to our Amazon ads, our new this year Amazon ads training, which is 4 hours of Amazon ads training. You can take that, it's spread out in a weekly formula. So you could do that all through March, and that's available to you. The price on the site is $99. You'll get $40 off, which means it's $59. We think it's a steal, of course. BGS40, $59, 4 more ads, in-depth Amazon training. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And what you'll get in the full course is information on relevancy, how you can improve it, the whole idea of relevancy on Amazon, how the A9 algorithm works, the manual keyword ad types, which I've spoken about, laser targeting, the whole idea of golden keywords, how to find your golden keywords, what is laser targeting, ASIN targeting, how to scale up your ads, and how to monitor and manage and making sure you're not wasting your money. So we're coming up to a little bit after. Thank you very much. I'm going to see if anybody has a question. You want to put your hand up? I have to switch just over here to this system, and hold on a moment. Okay, chat. Let me just see what have we got here. Okay, so we've got a thank you on the chat. We've got a Q&A. Let's just see. Publishers Workshop? No, that's Judy Wright, not the Publishers Workshop. Okay. What about including pictures? We've got a question here from Carolyn Williamson. Thank you, Carolyn. What about including pictures of the book cover? So typically the ad is the book cover. So the ad, if you look on an Amazon book page and you scroll down, you'll see a series of book covers with title, subtitle, and price beside it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the screen. So your ad is your book cover, your title, and subtitle. If you scroll down, it doesn't appear on every book page. So look at a couple of different book pages and you'll see a strip of books which has cover, title, subtitle, and price and the number of views, little stars beside it. So that is how your ad is presented. It's not like the idea of an ad where you've created your own design and all of that thing. It's just presenting your book to readers, presenting your cover and title, subtitle to readers. And I know it's a pay-per-view thing now where we've got to pay to have our book seen, but that's how they're showing your book. Your ad is showing your book. I hope that explains what an ad looks like, Carolyn. Has anybody got any other questions before I close it up? This is the recording. We're going to pause or stop the recording soon. If anybody's got any other questions, I really appreciate everybody being here. I hope you found it useful. I'm going to send a recording out to everybody who signed up tomorrow, a link to our Facebook group. Do I include words? Do I include words beside the cover? You can. There are text ads and no text ads you can do on Amazon. And we found that it makes no difference because how Amazon presents the text is really tiny little italics, okay? And we found that the most important things are your cover, your title, your subtitle, the number of views. You can test ads, so you can make an Amazon ad with text, or you can make it without text. But we found that on average, it doesn't make any difference. And we've had that supported by Amazon because people used to go into a lot of craziness about how to get your text right. But the text was so small and is often not read. And the key thing that gets people to click your ad is your cover, your title, your subtitle, the number of views, the things they see. So yes, you can agonize and make text if you want. And in some cases, it'll work better. But we found on average, doing thousands of ads, that it doesn't make any difference. That's our view, because our focus is on just selling books. But if you want to make a text ad, you can. So thank you. Anybody else got any final thoughts? We're coming up near the end now. I really appreciate everybody who's still here. Carolyn, Darlene, hi, Connie, Taylor, Dan, Donna, Douglas, Freddie, and Ian. I appreciate everybody here. Have we got anybody else? I see a hand up, allowed to talk. Okay, I'm going to say, Darlene, you can talk now. If you're still there.
Hi, sorry.
That's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I had typed my questions. I had two. First of all, when an ad stops working, do you keep tweaking it or do you stop it and put in a new one?
Generally put in a new one. When it stopped working for a week, or if it stops working for a month, if it stops working for a week, that could be just a temporary thing. I wouldn't be tempted to raise the bids too high. I might go in with 10 cents and say, okay, it was a 10 cent, because I don't want to go too high. I don't want to get trapped in a really high bid. So if it's not working, getting no impressions, you might try 10 cents. If upping a very likely bid by 10 cents, if like 2 weeks later, still nothing has happened, but do give an ad some time at the beginning, 4 to 5 weeks. Make sure you've given it plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And do you set your ads up with an end date or no?
No end date. It just ended up being ridiculous trying to go in and change the end dates. It never made any difference. We tried that trick. You know, people used to talk about if you send your end date, set your end date for next week, will it try and spend my money? It doesn't. Okay, so we don't set an end date. We just, because we're going in regularly, we can monitor them.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Very nice to have you here. We got a couple of other people. Thank you, Darlene. We got Carolyn. I'm going to allow you to talk if you can unmute yourself. Carolyn, hi. Ask to unmute. Okay, I'm going to click the ask to unmute. I'll give you another few seconds. So no, Carolyn. Okay, ask to unmute Carolyn. Okay. Okay, Carolyn, that's okay. If you don't want to say anything, I'm going to just take you out of here. Okay, now, who else? Who didn't speak? Simon Bardwell, allowed to talk, okay? Simon, do you have a question?
Yes, yeah. Thanks, Lawrence. That was brilliant, actually. Can I ask, do people ever advertise free books?
Yes, they do. Because if it's a series, if it's a free intro and you've got 11 books in your series, that's great. Yeah, let's sell it. Okay. Because if you know your read through, if you know your second book is $2.99, your third is $3.99, etc., right? You're likely to make a profit if you can get people in. So I'd take it slowly and carefully. The first month you might say, okay, I need to spend $50, let's see what happens, right? It's testing, and marketing has always been about testing. Okay, let's spend 50, see what happens with the free book. Have you got a series, Simon?
I've got 2 books and I'm just completing a third, but they're not a series, they're individual books.
Yeah, a bit tricky without the series to support it on a free book. So I wouldn't suggest advertising a free book if it's not supporting the series.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Radio. Thanks.
Okay. Let me see. Did I get everyone who had their hand up? I think I've got everyone. Carolyn, still had your chance to say something. I think your questions were probably answered. So don't have a mic. Oh, sorry, Carolyn. That's probably from Carolyn doesn't have a mic. So I think that's it. We're 10 past. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. Thank you very much. We love helping people with their Amazon ads. Thank you for coming here today. And that's it. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. Take it easy. And I hope you're all safe and well wherever you are.